Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Ranting Redhead. I am your host, Aiden, and before I get into my main topic today, I would like to ask a favor to anyone listening. If you know me and you're interested in being on an episode of my show, please let me know and I'll have you on in a heartbeat because I like having good conversations with other people and you know what? I think I think we could have an interesting dialogue and let alone it could be entertaining cuz I think I can bounce off people pretty good and who knows, maybe you can bounce off me pretty good. Who knows? Who knows where this discussion could lead to, but point is, if you're interested, let me know, and I'll definitely have you on, unless I really have a grudge against you. Then in which case, I'm sorry. But, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. If you saw my last episode, the one where I took the shot of hot sauce, somebody said to me, I had a couple people say this, but one guy in particular was like, you did a lot of swearing. There was a lot of swearing going on in that video. Well, I'll tell you what, when your insides are being destroyed after taking a shot of straight hot sauce, and that is that freaking hot, you're gonna have a reaction like that. So get the stick out of your ass and listen to the show. It's fun. And of course, he's like, well, I didn't have a problem with it. And I'm like, well, pardon me that I said one or two of the 7 words you can't say on television. Shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. I think that's what it was. If you get it, you get it. George Carlin, greatest comedian of all time. Yeah, what was it? Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. The 7 words you can't say on television. So pardon me if I said a couple of those. Okay? Pardon me. And you know what's funny is you can say all those words now on TV. But speaking of George Carlin, he's my favorite comedian of all time. And another comedian, this just happened last night. Dave Chappelle got attacked on stage. Somebody went up and tackled him. Oh boy. I wanted to do a show today and I was really struggling on the topic. I woke up and I saw this. I'm like, yep, I'm going to talk about it. So, anybody who doesn't know, Dave Chappelle was performing on stage, of course, big crowd, and all of a sudden a guy gets up on stage and tackles him, and security ran out and helped him. They caught the guy, but supposedly I think the guy had like a knife and a gun or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not claiming that to be 100% fact, but the guy supposedly had at least a knife on him, I heard. I'm like, well, first of all, and this was not like a nightclub. This was a big arena. I'm like, was there no security? Was there nothing there? Second of all, I've said this for so long, but if you don't fucking like a comedian, don't go to their show. It's that simple. You don't have to go up and attack the guy just because, oh God, he pissed me off. Ah! Ooh, boo frickin' who? Grow up. It's a comedian. His job is to make you laugh. Here's the other thing. If he said something that maybe attacked you or your quote-unquote community of people, guess what? A lot of times, in my opinion, at least when I tell jokes to like my friends or whatnot, a lot of times when I do it, I'll just go for the joke. I don't give a fuck just because it'll come to my mind. But I'm not saying I stand by those beliefs. I just know that I can make it funny. So Dave Chappelle probably doesn't 100% agree with everything he says, but he knows that it's funny and you can make fun of it. That's the beauty of comedy. Those are the people that are supposed to test the waters to see what is and what isn't funny. And you know what? If you don't like it, don't applaud. That's simple. Oh God, this really pissed me off. And this is why everybody complains like, where are the good there's no good comedy anymore. Well, you know what? Take a look at yourself because you may be the problem. Like we don't have, I'm not saying there isn't good comedians out there. There of course is, Dave Chappelle being one of them. Bill Burr, of course, are my favorites working today. But, like, we don't have comedians like Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Joan Rivers, Richard Pryor anymore, Robin Williams. They're all dead. And, everybody who loves those comedians have said this. If any one of them was alive today, they would have so much material to work with. And the closest we have is Dave Chappelle. And not knocking Dave Chappelle at all. He is one of the best working. He's not one of my favorites, but he's definitely one of the best working today, if not the best. Top 5 easily, maybe top 3. And you get attacked because I didn't like a joke. Could you imagine, like, what kind of a world do we live in to where if you now don't like a joke, you can go up and hurt the comedian? Will Smith did it, and now some random guy did it. The best was when Chris Rock was at this thing. He came out and he goes, "Was that Will Smith?" That was the best. And Chris Rock is another one of the best working today. I'll definitely back that. I mean, the whole point of comedy is to get away from real life, and you can take real life events and make them funny. Like, that's what he's doing. You're supposed to not take everything seriously in a comedy club. You know what? If you want to take everything seriously, go hang out with your boring friends, because I guarantee you'll at least, if you attack them, nobody's going to really give a shit because, well, they're useless anyway. Whereas Dave Chappelle is trying to bring some kind of laughter to the world. That's all he's doing. That's all. He has the mindset to where he's like, you know what? I can make something funny. Let me share my gift. And he does it excellent. He's so good. He's so freaking funny. His stand-up specials are the best. And if you have not seen The Chappelle Show, if anybody has not seen The Chappelle Show, oh my God, that is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. Just look up if you get the chance. It's so freaking hilarious. I don't want to say it on here. Well, number one, because if you know the bit, you know it. But it's just look up Dave Chappelle Milkman. That is one of the funniest sketches you will ever see in your life, and it's perfect. And I guarantee, like I said, and people get so offended by it. Did he just say that? Yeah, he did. Grow up. It's a joke. And the thing that I really hate is the fact that because I am 20 years old, a lot of the people that are like this, that get really offended, are people around my age, and it just really makes me ashamed to be a part of my generation. I mean, I have friends, obviously, my age, who definitely love good humor. But there's others where it's like, I don't know, you can't say that. I don't know. And I'm like, why am I friends with you? I still question that to this day. If you get offended, please don't talk to me. Feel free to listen to my show, because I love looking for material. And if you get offended and you tell me, believe me, I have loads to work with. But if you get offended in real life, please don't talk to me. It's bullshit. And like I said, you don't interrupt a comedian when he's on stage. That is his job to perform. You don't do that. Like, it's different where, like, Michael Richards was just blatantly shouting the N-word on stage because he got pissed. Then you cut the guy off and get him out. But just because somebody told a joke you don't like, now we're at the point where people are getting punched. And I do think that, I'm not saying this is fact, it's just a theory, that this guy tackled Dave Chappelle because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and at first nothing happened. Like, people still back Will Smith and his decision. I'm not one of them. I don't hate Will Smith though. I don't like him for that decision, but hey, you know what? People make mistakes and fuck up. That's life. I get it. But now, when he was allowed to sit there and keep going, and like I said, people still back him to this day. I don't, but that guy in his head might be thinking like, hey, I might get some support because Dave Chappelle, he attacked this group of people, so let me attack him. I'll get some sympathy. And I really hope he doesn't. I really hope that any relationship he had, I really hope and I hope that relationship ended. I hope his dog ran away, and I hope his kids are shipped off. Just get him out of the house. Make this guy so alone. Make him feel unwanted, because that's what he deserves. He deserves that. I don't know where you ship his kids off to, but as long as it's not my house, I don't give a crap. But the reason this hits so close to me is because I've always wanted to do something in the field of comedy. And it's very hard to do that nowadays when you can't joke about things that could be taboo subjects, because then you get quote-unquote canceled and you're not welcome in society. You make one fuck up and you're done. You're done. You can't work in this town anymore. You're done, kid. And I mentioned him a few minutes ago, but George Carlin had this one quote that I think everybody should hear. Okay, here it is. Anything can be funny, but not everybody can make it funny. And what he means is, like, there is no subject that is off topic. And I think, what did he say? Right after that, he says something like, he's like, well, people say you can't joke about rape. Rape is off topic. Well, I say, fuck you. I think rape is hilarious. I mean, just imagine, what was it? Elmer Fudd raping Porky Pig. Or Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. And he's like, hey, he had it coming, and his name's Porky. Like, that's funny. And you know what? I find it funny, but if you don't, that's fine. You don't have to find it funny. Not everybody has to find the same thing funny. But you know what? Here's the other thing. If the majority of people laugh, the comedian is doing something right. You don't have to like it. But if you actually get pissed off at the person and you start boycotting them, like go jump off a cliff and join the group of rejects that you should have joined a long time ago. And like I said, the point I'm trying to make is don't get offended by everything. I mean this is gonna sound like a fucking hippie speaking, but you know what? Life has to be fun. You can't take everything seriously. You only go around once. Enjoy it. Don't get pissed off at the little things just because a comedian said something that you didn't like. Move on with your life. It's that simple. Just move on. Be like, hey, you don't have to mention it. Just forget that you saw it. It's not gonna affect your life. You don't have to make it affect your life in the long run. I mean, is your life really that shallow to where you have to dedicate your life? Like this guy, I'm sure did not. The guy who tackled Dave Chappelle, I'm sure did not do this on a whim. Like he was planning this. He was easily planning this. And the fact that he was like, I'm going to jump on stage. Who knows what he could have done? Like I said, supposedly he had a knife on him. Like, worst case scenario, Dave Chappelle might not be here right now. Like, there is a possibility that could have happened. But thank God it didn't. Like, this was clearly a guy who had nothing going on in his life, and he's like, I want to get noticed. I got offended. I'm gonna be the one who starts this movement against comedians. Let's take them out if we don't like them. Fuck them. They have no right to comment on our situation. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what Dave Chappelle was talking about, but you know what? If Dave Chappelle's track record proves anything, it was hilarious. I guarantee you it was hilarious. He's one of the best working today. You don't do that. You know, and like I said, even like heckling is different. I don't like hecklers, but you know what? That's different. And the best is if you get a comedian who can fire right back at the heckler. That is the best to see. People love... that's my favorite thing, is seeing comedians like roast hecklers like on the spot. That is the best thing to see. Like, there's one, what was it? It was Joan Rivers. She said something like, yeah, you know, I'm not really a big fan of kids. I mean, I have a daughter of my own, but I don't really like most kids. The only kid I think I would have liked was Helen Keller because she couldn't hear any time I talk shit about her or something. And this guy goes like, how dare you say that? I have a deaf kid. He's like, and she just goes, you stupid fuck. I have a deaf mother. Don't think I don't know what I'm talking about. You stupid idiot. Like, that is the best. Oh, that's so good. Why can't people be funny anymore? People always ask that question, and you know what? It's people like this guy. It's people like him and Will Smith is why we can't be funny anymore. Really, really a shame. And I don't claim to be the funniest guy ever. I think I am funny, but especially in person, like I said, I think I'm way funnier when I'm interacting with other people. But I think it's important that, at least, like I said, I know I don't reach that many people, but I think it's important that, you know, somebody my age, like the generation that is entering the workforce right now, I like the rising generation. I think that I feel a right to say that, you know, comedians have a platform to tell jokes. Let them tell it. Don't get offended. And that's the other thing, because everybody always goes like, it's always like, it's the younger generations that get offended at everything. Well, you know what? Like I said, I know I don't reach that many people, but I do know this. I am not one of these people that get offended. There are people like me out there, and I know it. I know it, and you know what? Those are the best people to talk to. If you get somebody in a room and if you get someone my age in a room and talk to them, and you talk about a comedian, and they go, "That's offensive." Then you know not to hang out with them, because they are complete losers that can't handle the simplest tasks. Because if they can't handle a joke, what makes you think that they can even drive a car? Like, children understand jokes even. Children laugh at movies that are funny. It's not a hard concept to grasp. Laugh at something if it's funny. Don't laugh if it's not. Move on with your life. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know why this topic has always pissed me off. And I just wanted to talk about it. So, yeah, I think I've said my piece, and I think that's how I'm going to end the episode. Like I said, if anybody out there is listening and you know me personally, if you'd like to come on an episode of my show, please let me know, because I think we could have a good time. Unless I really don't like you, like I said. But if it doesn't hurt to ask if you really want to be on, I'll let you. Don't be shy. I won't bite. But anyway, that's how I'm ending the episode today. Thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.